We there? Unmute. Unmute. There you go.
Okay, I see you now.
Okay. Unmute. Unmute. There you go.
There, you can start.
We would like to remind you the Voice of Men
Yes,
360's
yeah.
mission is always delivered with good faith
There you
forward
go.
There, you can start.
harmony. We would like to remind you the Voice of Men 360's mission is always delivered with good faith
There you
forward
go.
There, you can start.
harmony. We would like to remind you the Voice of Men 360's mission is always delivered with good faith forward. Good faith forward.
Okay.
Hello.
We're here.
Good day, Jim,
Good
and
day.
welcome
Welcome.
to Unspoken Tears. My name is Dave Rogers, and I'm the co-host of this monthly chat with men or women who are involved in the movement to increase communication, explore compassion and expressions of kindness, and to heal different types of trauma that might be affecting or inflicting men all around the world. Today, I'm incredibly pleased and honored to be with a gentleman who has stepped up in Canada, in Brampton, Ontario, to lead Club 106, the first and oldest club in Brampton focused on the senior community. Ladies and gentlemen, join me please with a great welcome to Jim Angeloff. He's using his daughter's phone today, so that's why you see Darlene, and that's great because it allows us to also talk about his role as a father, as a community leader, as somebody who has gone and is going through a journey of really connecting with his heart and communicating in ways that might even surprise him on a daily and weekly basis. Welcome, Jim.
Thanks for the introduction. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And Jim, I guess we've got an audience today too, so I'm going to be asking the audience later. Feel free to type things in the chat group, offer questions or insights to Jim, because today we really wanted to shine a light on the elderly community. Jim has taken up the role as the president of Club 106 here in Brampton. Jim, what would you say are one or two of the major issues that seniors are facing these days?
Loneliness, depression. That's basically rounds it all up. Majority of that is, I see it. I mean, they walk around with a smile on their face, but inside they're depressed and lonely. And I was in the same situation myself. I lost my wife last year, and I found I was getting depressed and lonely at the same time. So I decided to organize this workshop for mental health, mental awareness, not only for men, but also for women that are at the Seniors Club. We started the program in July. We had 4 sessions, 1 session per week. And Dave hosted it. And today, I can tell you I'm healthy and well, mentally, physically, right? So, and it was a big step, and it was a good step in the right direction for me. Again, everybody is, you heard the expression, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to lead everybody to the trough, but I can't make them drink out of the trough. And they're the ones that have to help themselves. I mean, I go around promoting what Dave's offering us. And a lot of them are very skeptical, or a lot of them are in their own routine or their own habits. And again, old school issues, big egos, even as a senior, you know, and some of them are not willing to change. I took the step forward, and I wanted to change because I was tired of where I was going. I wasn't a very happy person. I wanted to enjoy my life. And now it's looking up and going forward. I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Jim, what are one or two things that you did to make some steps forward? From your perspective, what were one of the two keys to getting yourself out of depression or through loneliness? Could you share maybe one or two ideas just so that our audience today can get an idea that, again, you're a normal guy. You had a beloved Passover.
Good life. Yeah.
So what were some of your strategies or approaches?
My first strategy was to make the change, accept the fact that I was in depression, I was lonely. Okay. And I said I wanted to correct myself. So I took the first step. And the opportunity came around. It was just, what can I say? Something like a divine intervention. I mean, I walked into it and Dave was there, right? I had in the back of my mind, I gotta change. And Dave was there. We had a meeting about his workshops, and I got interested. I said, yes, this is my change. This is my first step to make my change. I could not do it by myself. I had to have someone to coach me and at least set the guidelines in the direction I wanted to go.
Let me just add a point, Jim. Thank you so much, because this is you took the steps before you even met me, because you took the steps to step into a leadership position with Club 106.
Yes,
so I guess I'm curious.
Yes.
I'm curious. There's people right now that might be stuck in a state of not being able to move, not wanting to meet people. They might not even be able to get out of bed. Yet, what did you say to yourself about even stepping into the president's role of the oldest senior club in Brampton? And what were the steps to do that? What was your inner voice? What was your calling?
Well, okay, I had joined the club. Okay, I'm gonna go give you a bit of history here. I had joined the club 4 years ago. 4 years ago, and I was just a participant. They had a lot of activities for seniors. It was the center was a beehive. It was always busy, and we did the games, we did the arts, we did the exercises, osteofit. What else? Painting, dancing, singing. Okay, they had all kinds of programs going on. Then going forward, okay, COVID hit us, right? And everything stopped. Okay. Now, the past president was anti-vax. She didn't want to get vaccinated, so the center didn't allow her to come to the center. And at the same time, I was still a participant. And what happened was the past president with their executives had, because I was such a participant at the center, they suggested, oh, we'll have Jim as a new president because he's vaccinated. And, you know, she calls me one day and says, Jim, you're president of the club. I mean, I told her, this is wrong. There has to be voting rights here, right? So anyways, we voted. We voted for you. So, okay. And I thought, she says, okay, think about it for a couple of days and come back with an answer. So I thought a couple of days and I came back, you know, I weighed out the pros and cons. And I said, hold on, this is an opportunity for me to get in and start socializing more with seniors. That was a bonus. So I says, okay, instead of sitting at home watching TV all the time, I said, yeah, I can interact with a lot more seniors. than I was before. So I went back to her, said, okay, I'll take the challenge on. And from there on, we're here today. And it's been good. I've met a lot of new people. I've been promoting this workshop that we're having as well. And I've been acting as president of the club, and it's keep me engaged and keeps me involved. I don't have time to be depressed or lonely anymore, because it distracts everything away from me. I'm dealing with people all the time, good issues, bad issues, you know, it's a challenge.
So one of the things that you said to me quite often was the center had a lot of great programs for people's physical body, yet the idea that there wasn't much to work for the mental
Correct.
wellness and the
Yes.
mental health. And
Yes.
so we talked about the Kubler-Ross model for dealing with grief. And
Yes.
you came over, we talked a little bit about the 5 steps: denial, anger,
Yes,
bargaining,
yes.
depression, acceptance, simply as a model, because we're also aware it's not one size fits all. It's really about allowing people to explore their emotions. And for you as a man and exploring your emotions at your age,
Yeah.
what's your internal dialogue about that? And what are the ways that sort of make you smile on one side, yet maybe cry on the other side, and that duality that you deal with every day?
Okay, it's brought out the emotions. Before, being a male, I would keep the emotions inside, and I allow them to build up and build up. And at the end of that, the result was a big explosion. It wasn't very good, because when I exploded, it was more anger, not emotion. It was just anger, and everything was wrong, and everybody was wrong. And I didn't like anybody, because I was so built up with frustration and anger. And by doing what I've done now, I've actually, myself personally, I find that I compromise. I check out the anger. I control the anger instead of bursting out. I think before I open my mouth. I think, you know, as they would say, there's another way of saying it. And they've emphasized the words, on the use of the words as well. It was quite powerful. So I've learned, it's helped me control my anger. And I've made me a better person. Does that help?
This is great, because again, Dr. Camille is also commenting in the chat that males, particularly from your generation, have never really had an opportunity, a forum to discuss this. It was really about suck it up. It's about get a tough upper lip.
Don't show your weakness. Yeah, cry. Sorry.
Go ahead.
And when the emotions came out, I mean, crying. When do you see a guy cry? It's not. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been crying a lot lately, and you know, it releases the anger that's inside. I've found that's what happens when I cry. Okay. Now I know why women cry all the time, and that's why they're so stable, and they're more balanced. They don't keep the anger inside. They release it by crying, and that when they cry, I found I'm more sensible, and I'm more control. I don't go into rages. All right. That's how that's how I deal with that now.
You were quite a force in our trust circles when we had the sessions of asking people about their relationship with the different types of emotion, particularly anger and depression.
Yeah.
And when you reflect back on it, hearing different people's experiences of, we have a wonderful lady in the group whose husband just passed over a couple of months ago, and
Yep.
now she's one of the most active people going and meeting and learning and growing. And then you see someone else whose partner might have passed over a decade ago, and they're still holding on, and they still haven't cleared anything out of the apartment. What did you learn from listening and expressing compassion to others?
What did I learn? Well, I learned how to deal with it myself. Everybody hates to lose a loved one, and it didn't affect me. It also affected my daughter and my son more. So I told myself, yes, I'm grieving, but I gave myself a time limit, 6 months. Some people may not agree with that, but for me, I thought that was sufficient. I can deal with that, the 6 months, and then I have to move forward and carry on with life because I got the responsibility of looking after my son and my daughter. Mind you, they're in their 30s now, but still, you know, they're your siblings, and I had to be a model role for them. So by taking control, giving myself 6 month time limit, I went back into carrying on with life, taking the responsibilities, not going depressed, not being lonely. I turned out to be more of a leader, right? And it helped with my daughter, and it helped with my son too, because, you know, they were grieving, but you know, when they saw that I was more enlightened, I still accept the loss, right? But I had to maintain control and go for. I could have gone two different directions. I was going in a bad direction, with drinking and the late nights, right? But I said no, that's no good. So I decided to wake up one morning and get rid of the depression and start acting responsible adults. I don't know if that has helped answer the question. That's the best I have.
No,
Right.
Jim, you're doing great because you're speaking from your heart. You're also you're processing so much of what's new for you.
It is new.
These emotions.
It all, yeah. I used
You
to.
shift.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I used to be. I'm a Taurus. Okay, and Taurus are the bull, and we were just full of rage all the time, right? Full of rage, and I wasn't like it. My wife never liked it, and she helped me a bit, right? Calm myself down. And then when I lost her, the rage just was endless. And I says, again, that's when I said, no, I had to change. And that's when I spoke with Dave.
So
And
you have been changing, and you're using new words, and you're have a greater awareness of your emotions, your energy and motion.
Yes.
Just recently, we did a class on the 5 love languages by Dr. Gary Chapman.
Yes.
Was there something that you took away from that class that other seniors might benefit from, other men might benefit from, being aware that different people are experiencing love in a different way?
Yes. It opened me up to the 5 levels. What was it? The arts, the words, the touching, the gifting, the arts of can you help me with that one too?
Sure.
The art of was it
Gifts.
Well, it opened up my
Acts
senses. The act of science, is it?
Acts of service.
Act of service. Thank you. I was kind of blank there for a minute. And what I found by reading those and participating in the questionnaire and the little quizzes that was provided by Dave, I started reading, and it allows me to open up again. Open up and not put the anger aside and open up with a warm heart instead, right? Because when you're angry, nothing gets resolved. It causes more conflict. But then with this 5 love languages, I used a different tactic, which I used from the languages, and I feel calmer, more at ease, and yeah, it's been helping me very well. That's I I can't, and I go off of what I do, those 5 language scenarios every day with my life, right?
Very good. Again, this is what's it's great to see you have a little piece of education or knowledge and then put it to practice.
Yes.
And I am curious, in what ways do you feel you've had a shift with your relationship with your daughter?
Well, she was angry too. But I'm gonna need my toilet roll now. The Kleenex, right?
Yep.
Right. My daughter was upset because her and her mother were just so close, and it was so close with the mother, and she had a couple of terrible relationships prior to that, so broken up relationships, loss of a mother, loss of a pet, and it just took a toll on her, right? And she was just angry at everything. She was so angry with everybody. Nothing could help, right? So with what I've learned, at the same time, I didn't know how to deal with her. I didn't know how to cope with her, how to fix her. Again, being a guy who, we're not letting our emotions out because we got to control our emotions, which doesn't help. We would sit and I took the classes, the workshop, and I heeded with the words that I learned from the workshop. I came and I confronted with my daughter. We sat down. We had a good cry, the two of us, right? And we talked on what we lost and how we're going to change it and where we're going forward with it, right? And now today, she got a healthy relationship with a new fella. I have a relationship with another woman, and it's going good. It's all going forward, and I feel a lot lighter. I don't hold the anger anymore because I know how to deal with it now.
Wow, that's thank you for sharing, Jim. And this is a little bit of new news for me with what I refer to as compassionate communication.
Yeah.
When you shift from feeling you have to fix somebody or something and have a sincere, compassionate conversation, there's this healing component that tends to flow.
Yes.
And then with your optimism, you allow opportunities to also come about. And then the other thing that you've done, which again has been impressive, is you've also exercised and you've been walking in nature. Share a little bit about your wellness strategy to feel good and to actually allow some of that energy to be harnessed and released in some of your exercise regime.
Yes, I started. I told you before I was going on a bad road. I don't want to go down that bad road of the drinking, and I said that's got to stop. So I decided, okay, the alternative. What else can I do? Get physically involved, change. I started exercising on a regular basis. I would take walks, and it helped deal. It would relieve a lot of stress because I found when I started going to exercising or the health club, and I thought it was easy just to pick up some weights and throw them around. So it allows you to release some of the frustration and the stress. It's easier throwing dumbbells because they feel no pain. Whereas you release it on some individuals, they may retaliate, and the end result wouldn't be very good. Someone's going to get hurt. So, and I started doing that, and I found my mind was getting better because I was relieving stress. And I found that with relieving stress, I enjoyed my life and it made me feel better. It made me look better. And I look in the mirror and I say, wow, this is good. And I just keep doing it now.
I want to congratulate you because I think every time I've seen you, you look fitter. You're looking happier, and even if when I meet you and you're having a bad day, it's fine too.
Yes, yes, we do have bad days, but I'm not as aggressive as I used to be before. Now, like I said, it's more rational, and it's choice of words, right? In dealing with it.
Alan made a fantastic comment here. Alan talks about, sadly, suicide is one of the ways that men are expressing themselves, as opposed to you going to the gym. Many men right now are committing suicide as their expression of their.
Yeah. My brother did that.
Yes. So the comment that Alan also added was that when people call you old, what's your response, or what would you rather them call you?
Jim. No, they call me old. Well, now that I've been working my body, I mean, I've been feeling good. I'm 65 years old, right? I'm better shape at 65 than I was at 20. Okay. And I'm getting compliments from people as well. You know, you don't look like you're 65, because again, when you have a leaner body, you know, it does change the impression on how you look. And when I hear that, I say, well, thank you. And it makes me feel good inside as well, because I'm noticing when I feel good, I'm happy, and you know, life just continually, it flows in a smooth river. There's no rapids or waves, you know. Everything just flows smoothly.
Do you see how good you feel when you use the word flow?
Yeah,
smooth.
It does. Yeah.
Simple. And this is one of the love languages we talked about, words of affirmation.
Yeah.
And again, it's something, as you as a leader of the Club 106 here in Brampton, I have a feeling that you are using words where you're acknowledging people that they're looking fitter, they're looking healthier, they're looking happier.
Yes.
And I love the fact that at 65 years young, that you're now feeling younger than you did when you were 30, when you had a lot of stress and pressure and
of course,
anger.
love.
And now
homes, kids, mortgages, right? All kinds of issues, family, you know, living issues, the job, right? We couldn't de-stress. That's why there are a lot of families and marriages that are dissolved because of people not coping with stress properly. And you know, we would abuse our wives or our kids to retaliate and, you know, relieve some of the stress, which is obviously wrong. They should have took Dave's workshop. You know, and it would give them a different perspective of that, right? And if I had done this earlier, well, it was always out there, tell you. No, it was always out there to help the sessions. They were always out there. Different, someone else always came along with you know, some kind of a workshop. The problem was, I found, was I was too busy. I didn't have time. I had to look after the kids. I had to look after our house, look after the wife. I always came up with excuses, right? I always came up with excuses. Well, the excuses don't cut it, because, you know, life, when you try to run away from excuses and try to solve the problem instead of putting it in the back burners, it gets worse and worse and worse. So, and that's when, again, going back to when I lost my wife. That was the end to everything. I says, okay, I'm not going to go down that road. And I changed again, my own will.
And maybe, like you said earlier, a little bit of divine guidance, which is something
Yes.
that you've also been exploring, is your relationship with nature and the full moons and
Yeah,
being
yes,
curious as a
absolutely,
farmer. And
yes, thank you for reminding. That's true. Yeah. You look at, with Dave's help, I've been more aware of the surroundings and all the moon and the stars. It's opened up a different perspective on that. Right.
Jim, what would you like to see the city, the province, the country do to improve the situation for seniors? Is there one or two or three things that you would just immediately invite or would like to see improve?
Wow. I don't have an answer for that. I don't know.
Well, take a deep breath and just think, if you had a little magic wand and a few things could improve the state or the situation, perhaps for seniors who are going through depression or loneliness or other issues, financial. Wow. Is there things that you think that Club 106 can activate or can move forward or be part of discussions to improve the current state?
Wow. How can I answer that? I mean, we're doing what we can already by offering this workshop sessions. I mean, again, by offering these workshop sessions, it's opening up the door. But you can't. The program is there. I'm going to put the program is there. We initiated the program. Problem is, it has to be up to the individual to come and attend. I mean, right now, it's a pilot project we're working on. We're trying to bring in more members, but we're not forcing. It has to be self-willed attendance. I can't push people to come in to attend. I would love everybody to, hey, here's an open door, come on in. We're offering gifts, but if you start offering gifts and not coming in for the session, they're coming in for the gifts to see what kind of gifts they get. But that's more like a bribery session. This has to be self-willing. I did it. I chose it on my own reconnaissance, and I hope that everyone else would do the same. But it's hard, It's no good when you start forcing people to attend something they don't know what they don't want to know. But
let me ask it in a different way, Jim. Let me ask it because Dr. Camille offered this as a question. I'm just going to fine tune it a wee bit. Is that what can society do to assist men who are going through loneliness and depression, and perhaps even on the way to suicide?
Wow. What can we do? We've done everything we can. The government's offering programs for these people. I mean, again, I'm gonna repeat myself. You can offer whatever you want. You can open the door, but it has to be self-willed. They have to want to do this. There are programs out there offered by the government that they're free, but people just don't want to attend. That's me. That's how I see it. That's the best I can explain. I don't know.
Okay, that's great, Jim, and thank you, because this is part of also leadership growth, is to have these type of discussions, to have people like Dr. Camille and Alan and Neil aboard to process and to suggest and to offer ideas and perhaps collaborate. So it's just a really wonderful conversation. I'm gonna change one of your quotes a little earlier. it's from the coaching mentoring hat. Like you say, you can bring a horse to water, yet you can't force them to drink.
That's right.
Yet, as a master coach, you can
Yes.
make that horse damn thirsty.
Okay.
So perhaps that what we can start to look at, and this is, again, a beautiful opportunity to have a conversation and then shift the mindset a little bit, because in the past you said you can't force them, yet now you can say, well, what can we do to make them damn thirsty? That there are alternatives to committing suicide. We know, empathize, have compassion for your pain. Can we shift that pain so it can be of service? That's what you did in my reality. You shifted the pain, the anger, the frustration, and
Yes.
chose to
Yes.
get fit, chose to change your words, chose
Yes.
to
Yes.
study, be vulnerable,
Yes. It's yes.
to honor the tears instead of being
Yeah. The key
embarrassed
word
with
is
the tears.
chose. It's chosen. Again, it's chosen. I chose it. Nobody made me do it. I chose it. I didn't like where I was going. I said that before, and I chose. I wanted to change, right? And other than that, like the churches, the religion, as you stated earlier, I mean, it's all by choice on what you want to be, who you want to, what your beliefs are, what type of religion you want to believe in Hindu, Buddhist, Jewish, Catholic, Protestant. No, it's your choice, your decision, and you have to make the final choice and decision. You can't be coerced or talked into it. That's my opinion, how I feel on it.
Let's share a little bit. I love technology. Let's share a little bit with our audience today some of the different programs that are available in Brampton, because I love the list of different types of activities that you and Neil and Mary have an opportunity to go to. Share with me 2 or 3 or 4 of the different types activities that can get people out of that loneliness or out of that depression, and then into some new activities that have helped you also. Physical fitness, definitely one. What else has been or is offered?
There's the program we offer. They have wood crafting, they have wood burning, they have painting, they have you can take music lessons, they have osteofit for people who have early signs of osteoporosis, so they do a light workup to get the movements in the body. They have chair exercise. Those who are restricted mobility, they help. They work sitting in a chair, so they loosen up the joints. What else? And we have yoga classes. Those are a few things that, like I said, it's enough to keep. I mean, we got 80-year-old females that are doing these exercises, and they're walking with a spring in their step, right? So it is. I'm impressed when I see them. I mean, at 80, and then you turn to your left and see some people who are 80 years old going with a walker or cane, right? And again, they're not interested in doing the exercise. They're more interested in doing the crafts, like the crocheting, the needlepoint, or just painting, right? So again, the choice is up to the individual.
That's right. And again, one of the things that Club 106, they often have the trips, the one-day trips. You can go to Niagara, go to casino, you can go watch a show, you can go connect with other seniors. Yet there is that element of making a choice. And then there's another element of what we can do in offering different services, whether it's assisting people to get to the center, transport to the center. And
Yes.
so these are elements that I really do believe the city's doing a good job. It's just with Club 106, we're looking at enhancing it perhaps with a little bit more of the mental wellness, the mental choice, perhaps the even developing the skills that you're developing in leadership and equipping the seniors with a sense of purpose, a passion project, an opportunity to feel youthful, if that's a word that resonates with them. That's one of the words that you are personifying in many ways, is this youthfulness, this reconnection.
Yes.
And
I mean, who doesn't want to? You're 90 years old and you want to be a 16-year-old again. That's not going to happen. But if you're 90-year-old and you feel like you're 70 or 80, that's going to lift up your spirits. Right?
I'm inspired with just visiting the center sometimes, and there's a lady who's 99. She's about to turn 100. And it's just like, wow, like she's walking, she's getting into her car by herself. And it's very inspiring. So that's another part of the strategy, is what inspires you, Jim?
What inspires me? Oh, wow. Well, since waking up every morning and feeling great, that's the blunt of it. Before I wouldn't get up, but now I've gotten involved. I'm participating. Okay, I'm doing a lot of activities as the role of the president here, and I feel that when I wake up in the morning, I gotta go. Before I get up, just roll from one side of the bed to the other side, not get up at all. But now I want to go out and help and contribute on what I've experienced, and I say try and inspire everyone else to do the same. It's a hard shoe to fill, but I'm doing it slowly.
One of the things that you and I shared, which is the GPS system. It's a self-calibration system. When you took a read of my book, we started day with gratitude. And when you're rolling in your bed right now, there's so much to be grateful. You're fit, you're healthy, you're feeling vitality, and then that sense of purpose. And you are coming across as somebody who has a sense of purpose of being contributing to not only your own wellness, the wellness of others. There's a passion of getting fitter or getting healthier, and then there's involved. And then there's the service. And so this can be called a personal GPS calibration system. Yes. And then when you get together with someone like Neil or Hank, and you get a couple of ideas passed and forth, you guys might do a passion project together. And there might be a passion of with Hank might be making a new wood product, or Neil might be sharing a project that he might be interested in the future. Yes. And then if you got three people together doing it, you've got a team. Yes. And men, I think, have a big challenge right now, is that they look around and they don't feel part of a team anymore. And when we can reignite that sense of being part of a community or a team or an organization like Club 106, where we know that good work is being done, there is, in many ways, a formula for miracles. And I guess that's the part that I want to infuse in today's discussion also, is we all can be witness to miracles, especially if we use the word miracles.
Okay. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah.
So I want to, again, thank you so much for your time today. I'm going to open it up. If anyone has a question, feel free to type something in. Jim, continued success in your role. What are one or two projects that you would like to share today, or what would you like to maybe be part of as we move forward into August, September, October? Do you have any 90-day wishes or
Yeah, I want
intentions?
to get. I started enjoying these workshops. I want to try and promote them and get them up and working. Like have more people attend, more discussions, more enthusiasm with these people. But you know, I'm working on it. That's what I'm trying to establish. I'm like now. I've said it was a pilot project we were working on. I want to bring it up to a higher level. So it'd be a regular session on a weekly or bi-weekly or whatever, duration we need to carry this thing forward. Right.
Excellent. Yes.
So that would be something I'm working on it. I'm working on that. Right.
Yes.
So. And going forward, I hope that people will put their ego aside and open up their hearts is what I'm looking forward, especially the men. Right?
Very good. Again, I guess you can lead by example, which is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you have a humility and a uniqueness. I think that's one of the beautiful things is when we meet people, we can honor their, again, it's a word that you and I've used is we can honor people's quirkiness.
Yes.
Instead of making differences something that is wrong and separates us, if we honor people's quirkiness and actually in some ways even encourage them to explore it, it can be quite inspiring.
Yes.
That's where each of the gentlemen and ladies, when they can express their playfulness, something that maybe they suppressed as a child, a project or a hobby that their parents or teachers told them they couldn't make a living at. And so they went on another path for 20 or 30 or 40 years, yet maybe in their 60s, 70s, 80s, or even 90s, they take on a new hobby.
Yes.
If you were to take a hobby that would maybe at first scare you, yet after you breathe a little bit and think about it, it might be fun. What would be one or two of those hobbies?
The wood carving. I was interested in the wood carving and the painting. I've done some of the classes there, right? And when I started the wood carving, I was given a block of wood, and then out of this block of wood, we were creating something that was three-dimensional of a figure or animal or some kind of picture. And the painting gave me I was in a moment of tranquility as I was painting, right? And yeah, I'd like to continue those on too, right?
It's awesome, one of those Jim.
Aha moments doing either one of those hobbies, right?
All right. I'm so happy to hear that. And I think in some ways, Hank was an inspiration with that, with the wood carving also. And that's it's great to be inspired by the people who are around us.
Sorry to interrupt. He made a cane, out of a piece of lumber. Actually, it was a tree. And I looked at it, and it was an impressive piece of work. Right.
The one that I'm going to invite you maybe to explore, given that you are in the process of a new relationship, is maybe we'll be seeing you at some Latin or dance classes.
Well, I love dancing, but I have damaged muscle tissue in my leg, which kind of restricts me a bit. But I do enjoy dancing. Yeah, I would jump at the chance.
Fantastic. Well, this is a session that I'm really grateful, Jim. For a guy who's just done his first podcast, it's inspiring. I'm thankful that you had time with us today, and I have a feeling it's not going to be your last podcast.
No,
you've already been invited for a few from today's session, and really, I'm grateful to everyone who's been part of of Voice of Men 360 Unspoken Tears with Dave Rogers. It's always an opportunity to connect, to communicate, and hopefully provide our audience with some tips and some proven strategies that have worked for people, and to invite people to explore one item, one word, one new approach to let go of hobbies or habits that are no longer serving your next rendition of yourself. Like you're being reborn in many ways, and that's
Yes.
we're an invitation to each of us.
Yeah.
With that, Jim, any last word that you want to bring as a completion for today's session?
Men, put your ego aside, open up your hearts, and have a good cry. How's that?
Well, Neil, you brought a big smile to Neil's face with a big clap there too, and it's great
Okay.
to have our wonderful guests in the audience today. Thank you so much for investing some time with us today, and we really appreciate you. Please share this with friends. Please comment it. If you'd like to find ways to collaborate with Voice of Men 360, we'll be doing an incredible event later in the year, the International Men's Day, and we'll be looking at working with men and boys of all ages around the world. It's broadcasted to over 100 countries, and it's something we're really happy to be not only an active member, a leadership component in that in Canada and around the world. Thank you very much, Jim.
You're welcome. I enjoyed my session.
Have a great day.